News, Kyiv.
So it's a pledge of support there from the UK. Let's discuss this with Dr. Alina Polyakova, who's the president and CEO of the Washington-based think tank, the Centre for European Policy Analysis. Now, one of the things that Sir Keir Starmer was considering, that in the event of a ceasefire with Russia, he was considering plans to send British troops into Ukraine to act as peacekeepers. Is that an option, in your opinion?
Well, certainly, I think the Prime Minister's visit is an important one, and the agreement that was signed. I think the bigger question remains is that when there is a negotiation that Ukrainians enter with Russia, with Europe and the United States supporting that negotiation, when that line is decided upon, the line of contact, who will be there to enforce that line, to ensure that whatever ceasefire is reached is not going to be something that the Russians break within a couple of years and then return with a much stronger military force like they did between the invasion of Crimea in 2014 and the full-scale invasion in 2022. There's no doubt in my mind that this administration in Washington will want to see Europe take the lead in putting together a European-led coalition of countries. Does not have to be a NATO-led coalition, which is important, but a European-led coalition of countries to enforce that line with boots on the ground. I don't see too many other options that we can ensure a sustainable long-term peace in Ukraine.
But just as President Putin has always said that there is no chance Ukraine joining NATO, for example, is just antagonizing and an expression of exacerbating the conflict. And obviously Russia was the country that attacked Ukraine. But just, is that an option, having foreign troops on the ground in Ukraine?
Well, I think we need to think about our own security, not just European security, but also transatlantic and U.S. security and broader global security. What happens in Ukraine will affect us in the United States, certainly Europe, but also our relationships in the Indo-Pacific and the lessons that Beijing and others take from how we act. And I think the longer we worry about the Russian reaction versus taking out our own agenda and our own goals of what we're trying to achieve for our own security, of which Ukraine is a key anchor, we're not going to be in a position of strain. So the focus absolutely now for the White House, as well as European leaders, should be to ensure that we apply maximum pressure on Russia to change Putin's calculus, to force them to the negotiating table in good faith, not just for the sake of being there,